सहना भवतु सहनो भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं। शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि। सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्याम् मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। अनिराकरणम् अस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु। तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्माः ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। After having given the knowledge of the self, the Upanishad goes on to describe a story. The story is to indicate that in this striving for knowledge, the greatest obstacle is our own ego. Greater the ego, greater the war. So while striving for knowledge, it is also important to live an intelligent life. This knowledge is deeply connected to how we live our life also. Let us live a life in humility, in surrender, in gratitude. Such a healthy state of mind is absolutely essential in gaining this knowledge. Now, after having given this, of course, the story also indicates that there is a need for Shastra Praman, there is a need for a teacher. Bhagavan Shankaracharya says in one place, Shastrajñopi svatantrena Brahmanveshanam na kuryat. You may be a scholar, a well-read man, a master in Sanskrit, but swatantrena, independently, one must not inquire into Brahman. You need guidance. Yes. Now continuing. So now we are in the 4th chapter. The story is over. Now some tips are given for meditation, for contemplation. What is this Brahman? Some illustrations are given, some analogy is given. So first let us read the verse. 4th verse. Tasyesha adeshaha yatetat vidyutaha vyadyutada itinyamimishada iti adhidaivam. Yes. Tasya esha adeshaha. Tasya, for knowing this Brahman, tasya esha. To know this Brahman, there are some illustrations, some analogy given. What is it? Yat etad. It is very well known with respect to this Brahman. Yat etad. How is it this Brahman? Vidyutada, vidyutaha, of the lightning, vyadyutada. So that 3, there is a 3 there, vyadyutada. So you have to, you have to extend it for 3 matras. That is the meaning. So why that 3 matras? To indicate as though. Vyadyutada, as though. Vidyutaha vyadyutada means what? The flash of the lightning. This consciousness is like the flash of the lightning. Now to meditate. What does it mean? Flash of the lightning. These Upanishadic illustrations are very strange. How to sit and think. So what is the common feature between consciousness and lightning? In the presence of light, everything is seen. In the same way, in the presence of consciousness, everything is perceived. It may be dark night, but when that lightning strikes, everything becomes clear. For that split moment, isn't it? So too, when we deeply abide in that consciousness, everything becomes clear. All confusions are gone. Confusions regarding Jiva, Jagat, Ishvara. It may be for a fraction of a second, but that is enough. And the lightning is so majestic, so splendorous, so brilliant. It reminds us of the power of God. So too this consciousness in us, it reminds us of the presence of Lord in us. But this way you have to keep on meditating. In so many ways you can think. Freedom is given to you. The student is just given a pointer and the student is left. Now think on. So many ways you can think according to your tendencies, inclination. Consciousness is like lightning. This is the illustration. So you can use your creativity. When lightning falls on something, it is finished. So too, when this knowledge falls on someone, his samsara is finished. There is no end to imagination, An illustration is given. When lightning will come, you don't know. So too, when that grace will descend and everything becomes clear, you don't know. You will have to wait. You will have to wait patiently in the seat of meditation. And just like lightning, some glimpse comes. 1 hour you may sit, but that glimpse comes only in a fraction of a moment, somewhere. You don't know when. You don't know when that connectivity happens and the grace descends. You don't know. You have to just wait. Vidyutaha Vyadyutada. Now see the next illustration. Itinyamimishada. Nyamimishada. It is like what? Nyamimishada. Like the winking of the eye. Now again you have to think. Winking of the eye. What is this winking of the eye? Every other second you do it, but you are not even aware of it. It is something which is a very, very close experience of yours. But then how many of us pay attention to the winking of the eye? Through the eye we go out, but there is something happening in the very source with which you are seeing out, you are going out, but you don't pay attention. All seeing happening is happening in the eye, and there is something happening in the eye, but we don't pay attention. In the same way, all perceptions are happening, but that light of consciousness, in the light of which perceptions are happening, we ignore. It is such an easy thing to recognize, but we ignore it. And therefore we lose it. The whole point is this. Every moment that truth is there in us, shining in us, ever available to us, ever evident in us, ever ready to bless us. But then we ignore it and therefore we miss it. And just like that winking of the eye, it is so effortlessly present. There is so much of effortlessness in it. Yatinyamimishada. Conscious living is what is recommended in spirituality. Live consciously. Don't live a mechanical life. Be aware. Be present. Shift your attention to the present. That truth is always there. Now with these two examples, another point is also indicated. As a seeker, this experience comes in the beginning like lightning, once in a while. But slowly, as that seeker becomes adept in meditation, that once in a while experience, where you just get a glimpse somewhere at some time, slowly, that experience becomes as effortless as winking of the eye. It becomes very effortless. So in the beginning there is effort. Later on, it becomes effortless. In fact, this truth is something for which no effort is necessary, because it is your nature. To experience your nature, is effort necessary? No. For the fire to experience its heat, is effort necessary? No. It is there. Very, very naturally it is available. Then why so much of effort? So much of effort is there because we are so used to living the wrong way that the right way has become difficult for us. Silence. Do you need effort to create silence? Do you need effort? There is no effort needed for silence. Silence is always there. But then we find it difficult to remain silent. You want the mind to be quiet, you want the thoughts to be quiet, but are you able to do it? No. Silence is something which is natural, which is effortless. Then why are we struggling to remain silent? We are struggling to remain silent because making noise has become a habit. For a person for whom making noise has become a habit, remaining silent is very difficult. Like small children, ask those children, sit quietly. Maybe 2 seconds. After that he becomes restless. Isn't it? So for beginningless past, we have lived a noisy way. For us, the noise was the music for our ears. We lived so comfortably in noise. We are so accustomed to noise that now silence becomes a suffocation. And who is this noise maker? The ego is the noise maker. Ego is noise. The moment ego is silenced, what remains is only silence. Ego has become so natural to us that the Supreme Self now has become a stranger to us. Self has become a stranger, ego has become our own. What a tragedy. Our enemy has become our friend has become our stranger. So actually speaking, there is no effort at all in abiding in the self, just like silence. It is as effortless as winking of the eye. So meditate on that. This silence is my nature. It is as effortless. There is no effort needed. But all the effort is because of my own wrong notion about myself. All noise in my mind is because of this presence of the ego. Silence the ego and there is only silence. Yatinyamimishada iti adhidevam. This is an example, this is an illustration from the outer world. Now what is the illustration from the inner world? Next verse. Atha adhyatmam yadetat gacchati iva cha manah anena cha etat upasmarati abhikshnam sankalpaha. Atha adhyatmam. Now an illustration from the inner world. The other two illustrations are lightning and winking. Now another illustration is given to meditate on the self. What is the illustration? Yat etat, it is very well known about this Brahman. It is like gacchati iva cha manah. It's like mind. Now, what is the nature of the mind? Remaining in one place, it goes everywhere. Gacchati. Run, no run. It runs from the past to the present to the future. It runs from space to space. And the speed is such, in a split moment, you reach anywhere. Gacchati. Mind is wandering. Anena cha etat upasmarati abhikshnam sankalpaha. Abhikshnam, off and on, repeatedly. This mind is running everywhere. Sankalpaha, full of sankalpa, full of kalpana. Kalpana means what? Full of ambitions, planning, visualization, thinking, brooding, wool gathering, imagination. They are all called as sankalpa. Abhikshnam, now and then. So the mind is filled with so many thoughts of this nature. Now what is said here? May you think of this mind, anena cha etat, anena, with this mind, cha etat, this Brahman, upasmarati. May you think of Brahman with the help of this mind. What is said here? Upasmarati. Smarana means what? Remember. So now the mind is remembering so many things. So many thoughts are there in the mind. That is smaranam. That is going on. What you are supposed to do? Get the glimpse of Brahman through upasmaranam. What do you mean upasmaranam? As the mind is thinking of that, with another part of the mind, pay attention to consciousness. In the light of which that thinking is happening. That is called as upasmaranam. Parallelly, another smaranam is happening. Mind is constantly thinking of things. Parallelly, another part of the mind, what is it doing? Paying attention to these thoughts. With this mind, etat upasmarati. Right where the mind is, right there consciousness is. You don't have to go in search of consciousness anywhere. Right where your wandering mind is wandering here, there, everywhere. Don't have to stop that thoughts. Not necessary. You don't have to struggle to stop those thoughts. Not necessary. Meditation is not trying to stop the thoughts. No. Meditation is all about paying attention to the wandering thoughts. Very many people struggle to stop thoughts. And in that struggle they get tired. And they sleep off. Don't struggle. Let the mind wander. Gacchati, let it go wherever it wants to go. Let it go. Don't judge. Don't complain. Don't lament. Ayyo, what a dirty mind I have. Ayyo, what am I thinking? Ayyo, I am not able to stop. Stop this nonsense commentary. Let it wander. Let it wander wherever it wants. But what you have to do? Upasmaranam has to be done. So in the beginning, it might come as lightning. Upasmaranam will not happen, only smaranam will happen. And suddenly, ayyo, where have I gone? No problem. One lightning will come. Thunk. Right. One lightning. Oh, I am sitting here for meditation, but I don't know where all I have gone. One lightning. Again you sit. For a few seconds again the mind is silent. Again the mind wanders. You are not even aware of it. Few minutes have gone suddenly. Oh, what am I doing? I am here for meditation. One lightning, another lightning. Vidyutaha vyadyutada. Thap. One flash. Everything is clear. I am sitting here. I am supposed to observe my mind. Suddenly you will find the mind has become silent. This will go on. So this way, watch your mind. Mind by nature, it is chanchalam, it is asthiram. Don't give too much of importance to stopping the mind, but give too much of importance to watching the mind. What is more important is watching the mind, witnessing the mind, than stopping the mind. And the beauty is, as you start becoming an expert in watching the mind starts ceasing. It automatically dies down. No mind can be made 100% pure. Let us keep this in mind. No mind can be made 100% pure, how much ever great that person may be. Just like no physical body can be made 100% healthy. Not possible. 100% health is impossible, so too 100% purity of mind is impossible. So therefore, wandering will happen. Struggling to stop the mind is as impossible as trying to stop the waves in the ocean. It's not possible. What you are trying is not to stop the waves. What you are trying is to dry up the ocean. How do you dry up? By witnessing. Anena cha etat upasmarati. So this is subjective illustration. Then, now the next verse. Tadha tadvanam nama tadvanam iti upasitavyam saya etadevam vedabhiha enam sarvani bhutani samvanchanti. Tadha tadvanam nama tadvanam iti upasitavyam. This Brahman, upasitavyam, should we meditate upon as this consciousness. How should we meditate upon? As Tadvanam. What is this strange name? Tadvanam. Vanam means what? Now here Vanam doesn't mean forest. Vanam means vananīyam, bhajanīyam, worshipful. That which is worshipful is called vanam. Now all these things we come to know only because of the commentary of Bhagavan Shankaracharya. Now suppose you know Sanskrit, you read it. He should be worshipped at Tadvanam, that forest. That's why scripture should not be read independently. That's why it is said. So Shankaracharya write commentary. Vanam means what? Not forest. Vananīyam. Bhajanīyam, that which is worshipful. Tat vanam means what? Tasya vanam. That which is worshipful for everyone. That which is worshipful, tasya means of him. That which is worshipful for him or her. Now what is that which is worshipful in every one of us? Our own Supreme Self. So Tadvana means Supreme Self. So what is said here? That Brahman should be worshipped as Supreme Self. Start from here. Don't start from the world, start from right here. That Brahman is your own self. The most worshipful self, the most beloved self. Start your worship from here. As a BMI, I may be the most useless entity. If an idiot, a stupid, a foolish fellow, no problem. But this self in you is adorable, is worshipful, is the very support of the whole universe. At the BMI level, whatever I am, doesn't matter. But this self is the most worshipful. This consciousness is the most adorable, reverential. Iti upasitavyam. And what happens when you worship this self? Saya etadevam Veda. A person who worships the self in this way, the one who worships that Brahman as one's own self, what happens to him? Enam sarvani bhutani abhi samvanchanti. That abhi, vedhabhi, that abhi should go with samvanchanti. So the sentence will be Saya etad evam Veda ha enam sarvani bhutani abhi samvanchanti. That abhi which is there with the Veda, it should go with samvanchanti. So the one who worships that Supreme Lord as one's own self, what will happen? Sarvani bhutani, all the beings, they will start loving him. Abhisamvanchanti. Every being in this planet will start loving that person extremely. Abhisamvanchanti. They will desire him. They will be attracted towards that person. Which person? The one who worships that Supreme Lord, that Brahman, as one's own self. Why is it so? When I see in myself that Supreme Self, that Bhagavan, once I have trained myself to think of the Lord in me, to see the Lord in me, what will I see in others? How much ever criminal-minded the other person may be, vulgar the other person may be, impure and uncultured the other person may be, what am I seeing there? The very same God which I am seeing here. If I see in myself the body, I will see others also the physical body. But if I train myself to see the Supreme Lord as consciousness in me, I will see that very same consciousness in others also. So when I see the very same Supreme Self in others, what will be my natural attitude towards others? It will be love. Just as I love myself, in the same way I cannot but love others also. I cannot hate them. So when I start loving others, what will be the natural response from others? When you love others, others also will love you. Simple. The more and more you love others, the more and more others also helplessly will love you. To such an extent that if some of the saints, if you see, all the birds and animals used to come to them fearlessly. To that extent they have cultivated that oneness. I remember one story said by Guruji. So there was this lady saint. She would sit and all these birds would come and sit on her shoulder, head, etc., hands. So one great scientist, he wanted to meet this saint. So when this lady was sitting there, this scientist came, approached. And the moment this scientist came, all the birds went away, flew away. Then he said, Amma, why is it so? When I come, everyone run away. Then she said, you must be eating them. This is what she said. You must be eating them. He said, yes, I eat non-veg. That's it. Yesterday the topic had come. You see, the more and more you start worshipping this self, this consciousness, the more and more you become so sensitive that in others you are seeing yourself. The physical body may be different, but what are you seeing there? You are seeing yourself. So the moment you have to give pain to someone, how do you think? If suppose this pain is going to come to me, will I like it? So if I don't want to give this pain to me, I will never give this pain to others also. This is the way the thinking goes. So the more and more you start loving the Supreme Self, the more and more you see the reflection of this right understanding from the cosmos. How does the cosmos reciprocate? The cosmos reciprocates by showering love upon you. Sarvani bhutani abhisamvanchanti. That's why people say, when they go and sit in the presence of a realized master, they feel, I don't know why, my heart is filled with love for that person. I am helplessly getting attracted towards that person. All these things they say. I am a totally stranger. That Swamiji also doesn't know anything about me, but I don't know why. When they sit with Gurudev and all, they give such kind of description. They are effortlessly attracted. So those who meditate upon this Brahman as their own self, all beings get attracted to them. Yes. So the teaching is over. Now something funny happens. Superficially if you read, that's what we have to understand. The whole teaching is over. Guru is there, Shishyas are there. Now next verse. Upanishadam bho bruhi iti uktaha te Upanishad brahmi vavate Upanishadam abruma iti. All the teaching is over. One student got up. He said, Guru, I want to ask something. Yeah, please. Question answer session. Doubt clearance session. Please tell. What do you want to know? Upanishadam bho bruhi. Please teach me Upanishad. The whole teaching is over. And here is this fellow who stands up. So such wonderful disciples were there in those times also. Upanishadam bho bruhi. Please give me the knowledge of Upanishad. How can the teacher now answer? Iti uktaha. I have already given. Te, to you. Upanishad brahmi. This Upanishadic knowledge related to Brahman, I have already given you. Enough. Vahavate Upanishadam abruma iti. I have already given the knowledge to you. Now, superficially, of course, it's it's a joke. As they say, the entire Ramayana is over, and this person gets up and asks, what is the relation between Rama and Sita? Something like that. But then Shankaracharya says, no, such kind of statements cannot come in Upanishad. It is not some humor session that is going on. So if the student has asked this way, there has to be a purpose. Such redundant words, redundant statements are unacceptable in Upanishads. So there has to be a purpose. Now Shankaracharya also has to give what that purpose could be. So he gives two reasons. Number one, when the student says, please teach me Upanishad, what he means is, O Guru, is there something else also? Or is the teaching over? Is there something else also you want to mention? Or is the teaching over? If the teaching is over, I prostrate unto you, I express my gratitude, and I take your leave. So this question has that implication. Just a confirmation. What confirmation? Whether the teaching is over or not. There is another reason also. Another beautiful reason given by Bhagavan Shankaracharya is, O Guru, now that you have given me this knowledge, is there something which I have to do to know? Now this is a beautiful doubt, because very many people have this notion that I should know this knowledge, this is mere theory, then I have to do something to get it. Like you gain the knowledge of pranayama, now mere gaining the knowledge will not do, you have to do it to get the result. There is one knowing, then there is a doing. The student's question is, after knowing, is there any doing? Or everything is over? Like taking medicine, you must know which medicine to take. There is a knowing, then you have to take the medicine also. Then only you will get the result. In the same way, Upanishadic knowledge is gained. Is there something to do? So what is the answer of the Guru? No, there is nothing to do, there is only to know. Knowing itself is the result. There is no doing involved. Very many times people have this wrong notion. They say Vedanta is theory, yoga is practice. All such kinds of wrong notions are there in the society. Vedanta, you listen to Vedantic knowledge, that is theory. But then what is practice? Yoga. Then do asana, pranayama, etc. What do you mean? So Bhagavan Shankaracharya is taking up all these, the doubts which are there in the minds of the seeker. Once you know it, it is finished. Then there is nothing else to be done. Once you wake up from the dream, once you know that you are the waker, is there something to be done? No, in my dream state I had my wife, my children, now I have to feed them. So therefore, after waking up again go back. Nonsense. Once you wake up, it is over. Once you know, it is over. Knowing is final, full stop. Once you know that there is no snake there, there is only rope. Once you know that there is only rope, is there something to be done? No, I have to remove that snake and throw away, so that only rope remains. Foolishness. Knowing is final. So this is what the implication of this question is. O Guru, teach me Upanishad. Tell me what has to be done. Guru says this is final. everything is over. Once you gain knowledge, everything is over. There is nothing else you need to know. Now the next verse talks about something which has to be done if the student is not able to gather this knowledge. Because all kinds of students are there. Some of them found it difficult. They are not able to understand. So then the Guru understands preparation of mind is what is lacking in them. So therefore one brief mantra in order to indicate the entire process of spiritual sadhana. What are they? Tasyai tapodamaha karmeti pratishtha vedaha sarvangani satyam ayatanam. Yes, tasyai, for that Brahma Vidya. Tapo damaha karma iti pratishtha. These are the three pratishtha, foundation. Tapas, austerity. Damaha, control of the senses. Karma, action. Vedaha sarvangani. To attain this Brahma Vidya, the limbs are Vedas. Satyam ayatanam. Abode is Satyam, truth. So the 5 factors are mentioned. Tapas, Dama, Karma, Veda, Satyam. Now what has to be understood? If you have to start the journey of spirituality, what is the first factor? Veda, knowledge of the scriptures. Unless we gain the knowledge of the scriptures, how will we know that there is a goal, there is a path? The goal becomes clear, the path becomes clear, the direction becomes clear only when we know. This knowledge comes from Vedas. That is mere intellectual knowledge. Then what you have to do? Karma. That's the second one. What is karma? Selfless karma. When actions are performed in a karma yoga spirit, performing actions as a worship of the Lord, pouring out your best, your talents and abilities for the welfare of all, keeping the bigger picture in mind, in a spirit of cooperation and not competition, without ego and egocentric desires. Now this is an art of performing action. When you perform this action, what happens? The mind becomes pure. With such a pure mind, what has to be done? Tapas has to be done. What is tapas? Concentrating the mind. Here, paying attention. That is tapas. Concentrating the mind upon Brahman. Paying attention to Brahman, meaning paying attention to that consciousness. This is the greatest tapas. But this tapas can be done only when the senses are disciplined. So therefore damaha, prevention of dissipation of energy through the senses, is called dhamma. On one side you are applying your energy through tapas, on the other side you are conserving your energy. Unless the energy is conserved, you cannot apply it. Effective application is possible only through efficient conservation. So tapas, dhamma. So tapo, dhamma, karma, vedaha. If this way you live, what will be the result? Satyam ayatanam. You will reach Satyam, the truth. Ayatanam is the abode, is the home. So what is our home? Our home is Satyam. Our abode is Satyam. Yam prapya na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. That dhama is Satyam. So such a person reaches the truth, which is Satchit Anand. Yes. And now comes the final verse. What happens when you reach this abode of truth? Yo va etamevam veda apahatya papmanam anante swarge loke jye pratitishthati pratitishthati. Yes, yova etam evam veda, the one who indeed, etam, this Brahman, evam, in this way, veda, who knows, the one who knows that Supreme Brahman in this way, apahatya papmanam, destroying all sins. How he destroys all sins? He destroys the very sinner itself. Who is the sinner? Ego. Apahatya papmanam anante, in that infinite swarge loke. What? We go to Swargaloka? No. Here Swargaloka means the realm of bliss. Swar means sukham. Ga means gacchati. Swar sukham gacchati asmin iti swarga. Means what? That realm of experience of bliss is called Swargaloka. So Brahman is called Swargaloka because it is of the nature of bliss. It is Ananda Swarupa. So Anante Swargaloke, Swarge Loke, Jeye, which is the highest. That world, the world of Brahman, which is the highest, Pratitishthati, he gets firmly established. Pratitishthati, definitely he gets firmly established. Repeated twice. Repeated twice is to say that this is 100% true. No doubt about it. Nastyatra samshayah. Repetition is also to indicate that Upanishad comes to an end. Now let us chant that Shanti mantra once again. That is the norm. Om apyayantu mamangani vak pranaschakshushrotramatho balamindriyani cha sarvani sarvam brahma upanishadam maham brahma nirakuryam ma brahma nirakarot anirakaranam astu anirakaranam me astu tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharmah te mai santu om shanti shanti shanti. So this way, this beautiful Upanishad comes to an end with a strong, straightforward method. What is the method suggested? Know yourself as you are. This is the message of all Upanishads. I sincerely invoke the grace of Sharda Mata, the blessings of our entire Guru Parampara. May we sincerely follow the path shown by our Rishis, and may we attain the highest. So to conclude, let us chant this beautiful Atma Shatakam, which summarizes all the teachings what we have done throughout the camp. Mano buddhya hankara cittani naham na ca shrotra jihve न च घ्राणनेत्रे न च व्योमभूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् न च प्राणसंज्ञो न वै पञ्चवायुः न वा सप्तधातुर्न वा पञ्चकोशः न वाक्पाणिपादौ न चोपस्थपायो चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम् सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः